Hello everyone. Welcome to another learning session of Foundation of Programming at CodeMode, where you learn by practice. Currently you are learning all about data, and in today's class we will learn about data security. Now before I start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe our channel, especially if you are watching on YouTube. For complete course and related coding practice, go to our platform my.codemode.us. Let's begin. In 2006, a British mathematician and very famous marketing mastermind, Clive Humby, shouted from the rooftop, "The data is new oil." What it means is, what he really meant is that company that holds data is rich. So naturally, some bad people are behind this data. They want to steal it, they want to destroy it, they want to use it for ransom. Now, it is important for large businesses to protect this data for two reasons. One is credibility of the company, to protect its customers' interest, and also to comply with government's rules and regulations. Nowadays, a lot of rules and regulations are in action to protect a user's data, and companies are asked or expected to comply with it. For example, take healthcare industry. Healthcare industry has what we call it Private Health Information Act, PHI. What I mean by private health information is that your right from your blood group to different type of test results, everything that you have, your doctor has collected data about you, your clinic, your hospital, your lab has collected data about your health record. That health record has to be protected. Now, in order to do that, government has enacted or government has implemented what we call it HIPAA laws. HIPAA stands for Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, which came in effect, and it was signed into a law by President Bill Clinton. Now that law protects American citizens and residents from unauthorized use of your health record. Now all the healthcare industries and applications and systems has to comply with it. They have to secure your data from falling into wrong hands. Similarly, credit card industry has what we call it PCI. The PCI stands for Payment Card Industry, and that also has some rules and regulations that industry has to comply to protect your financial information, especially related to credit card transaction. So now companies are taking those, the data security and related risk very, very seriously. Now, you may have heard several data breaches. When we use the word data breach, what it means is data being stolen, data being kind of hijacked for ransom, data being destroyed. In April 3rd, 2021, the personal data of 533 million Facebook users from 106 countries has been posted online for free in a very low level hacking forum. Similarly, in April 2021, almost 500 million LinkedIn user profiles were discovered on dark web. The hackers shared those data with, online just for $2 to prove the legitimacy of the hack. Now, these type of things not only hurt the company's business like LinkedIn and Facebook, but also, government imposes fines in many cases because company did not comply with the laws. And not to forget that a lot of individuals file lawsuits against those companies for the loss of identity, loss of credibility, So all of these companies have to protect your data. Now there are several ways data can be protected, and we are going to look into some of the ways here. using which companies protect your data when they store the data on the server. The first and most important is what we call it encryption and decryption. The word encryption means when we have a data, we cipher the data in such a way that it becomes unreadable. I'll give a very basic example. Let's see, we have a text. Let's say we say a word physics. This word physics, if I want to hide this word, I want to encrypt this word, the most basic, and again, this is not real exactly how encryption works, but I wanted to give you an idea of what it means by encryption. That suppose we understand that letter P is from A to Z. I don't remember which letter it is. Let's say letter P is 16th letter in the alphabet. So if we shift each letter on A to Z scale, let's say this is A, then B, C, so on, all 26 letters, and we decide to shift P by 3 letters. So from P it becomes Q, R, S. Let's say we make it letter S, the third letter. So P is replaced by S. I will replace by J, K. Y, Z, A, and B. Y will be replaced by letter B. S, T, U, letter V. You move to the third letter after this letter. And this way, I will become I, J, K, N, L. C will become D, E, letter F. S will become again S, T, U, V. So now this whole thing can become S, K, B, V, L, V, F, and V, I guess. Yes. Now if I give you this word and don't tell you that it has been shifted by 3, you wouldn't be able to understand that this is actually letter physics, the word physics. And that's pretty similar to how encryption works, that you use a key and encrypt the whole text like physics, and it gives you something that is very unreadable. That is the whole idea of encryption. You use a key to encrypt the data in a way that only you can again use the same key to decipher it and decrypt it actually and bring back the original text. And that is how you protect the data. Now, once it is encrypted, nobody can understand that this is basically physics, unless you know the rule or algorithm or that key. So that is how the whole encryption and decryption works. And I have created a basic diagram where you can see that the person who is sending this information, and there is a plain text, he will use an encryption key and he will create a ciphered key or cipher text. And the person who is receiving that text, this encrypted key, he can use the same cipher text, use the decryption key and create back the original key, these two. So if anybody who reads this text in between without the key, he won't be able to unlock it. It's like you use a lock and you protected the data. Now the second technique is what we call it data eraser. In this technique is in fact more secure. In this technique, you are simply erasing the data to a point where it cannot be recovered. And in some cases, this is the technique used to protect the data. When you know that you're not going to recover it and it's going to fall in wrong hands, then you simply want to erase it. The third technique, what we refer as part of the data security, is called data masking. So data masking is a process in which you remove some part of the data and you mask it using some character. And you have something similar when you type your password. If you remember, when you type your password, right, in the case of the password, I'm just taking like this 4 letter. So you will notice that you will type letter 5 and it appears as a star. You letter number K and it will also still appear as a star. Letter L, it still appears as star, and letter G, it will still appear as star. So what you really entered is 5, K, L, and G, but what is seen on the screen is a set of stars. This is what we refer as data masking. So the way it works again in the database is that I may store my whole list. Let's take, you know, a year and date and month, right? Suppose I want to store date today, and today is 5th of May 26th 2022. It is possible that I don't want somebody to know the year part. I will store this as, or show it as 0526, and these 4 letters I want to mask it using a star. Somebody who sees this data will not see 2022, it will see this as a star. That's called data masking. Now finally, what we also refer it as the 4th technique is data loss prevention. In the data loss prevention, basically we are using a mechanism. We are taking a backup of the data so that in case you lose the original data, you have a copy, so that you will be able to restore it back. So you create a backup disk in this case. So you have like original data here. This is your original database. You take a backup, and backup could be of different format. It could be, you know, a CD drive, or it could be another hard disk, in which you take the data backup here and you create a backup. In case you lose this data, you can always bring the data back from your backup device. Now in some cases this backup could be cloud, you know, some storage on the server in another system like Amazon's cloud or Google Cloud. Those type of backup services are available to, you know, take a backup and restore it. That's one of the another data loss prevention technique companies use it. So I hope you understand 4 different techniques or 4 different practices used by different companies to protect your data. That's all in today's class. Now if you have any question, please post it in the community on our platform, which is my.codemode.us, and you should get an answer. Please take time to solve the quiz associated with this concept. It is important to practice, but also it is important to test your knowledge and understanding. I'll see you all in the next class. Keep learning.